We are live.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. There's always that awkward moment when we're like, do we wait a couple minutes? Do we not? Everyone's just kind of staring at each other. Sorry about that.
Hi, ladies. I see Linda. I see Sarah again from Lacey's.
I'm here.
So, Lacey, why don't we go ahead and get started? It's 12:02, and we can let people trickle in as they do.
Sure, we can absolutely do that. I'm finishing my sentence real quick.
No.
So, Sarisa and I are the 2 of 3 WISE business coaches for COVID. And we're doing things a little differently today. In the past 2 weeks, we had a guest speaker come on, and we've decided we would love to make this, as much as everyone's comfortable, a discussion. Don't worry, for all of my fellow introverts out there, we won't call you out. If you want to stay anonymous, there is a chat box on the bottom that you can tap. You can send a private message to Sarisa, myself, or the WISE Center. Or if you're fully extroverted and love life, shout out questions and answers, and we're here for you. So today's topic is really about driving customer value and retaining clients. And I know we hear those buzzwords all the time, customer value. When we talk about it today, we're really hammering home the value we bring specifically for our clients to keep them loyal. So it's a little different than customer service, which is just a little bit more general, a little bit more vague of taking care of clients. This is what's that extra step that you really bring in value. So I would love if we could go around and introduce ourselves, but before I do, Sarisa, did I forget any part of it?
Well, I'd love to first thank you, Lacey, for opening it, and thank you, ladies, for joining us on Zoom and for registering. For those of you who are joining us via Facebook Live, we will also be monitoring those comments. So please feel free to leave your comments below in the Facebook Live chat, and we will address them as well. So if you have comments to add to the discussion or questions, we certainly, like Lacey said, we want this to be an open discussion today. And I hope that each of you have been enjoying the guest speakers that we have and some of the topics that we've been bringing up as it relates specifically to some of the challenges that we've seen small business owners face during this crazy COVID time. So that's the only thing I'd like to add, Lacey. So I think let's open it up to the round robin for folks who'd like to introduce themselves.
Sure. Is everyone okay in a sentence or less? I know. What's less than a sentence? A phrase. In a sentence or less, introducing who you are, your name, and if you work for a business or if it is your business, just a snippet of what that is.
I'll go first.
Perfect.
My name is Sarah, and I'm the hostess captain at Lacey's Tapas Restaurant, and I've been there since 2011. So it's going on 10 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
And we are opening July 30th. That was the last we heard, July 30th.
Yay. We actually had a session on reopening, I think our last power hour last week or the week before. We had a woman from the county and also a woman from the downtown committee to talk about the phases and reopening.
I think I took that one.
You were there. I saw you.
Yeah, I was there.
Hopefully it was beneficial.
Yes, I took my notes.
Anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
Sure, I will. So my name is Linda Dwyer. I am a high school business teacher. I teach entrepreneurship and accounting, and I'm using the sessions for staff development and also to help in our own business. My husband and I own a wood-fired pizza food truck.
Ooh, what's the name of that?
Wolf's Patio Pizza.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm always looking to get more information.
We may need to chat. Do you have vegan options?
Yes.
Pizza. And does anyone else want to say hi? 3, 2, 1. Nope. All right. So if you're cool with this, we would love to talk about things you do or have experienced that really drives customer value. And once we get some ideas, and if no one wants to pipe up, that's fine. Cerisa and I are here to fill that in. Really kind of dive in and tease them apart to see what we can duplicate and replicate throughout all the industries. But has anyone had an experience that really spoke to loyalty and driving customer value, or an experience that was quite the opposite that they're willing to share? And again, the chat box is open if you want to stay behind the scenes. I know, Cerisa, you are amazing when it comes to client-centric processes.
Thanks, Lacey. I think it's important for me, though, my specific business, because I'm product-based as a retail store. So for those of you who are just joining and are not familiar with me, I own Gypsy Freedom, which is a sustainable fashion store based here in Syracuse, New York. So I don't know, Lacey, it's interesting. I like to think about customer retention and just customer service in general is like, how would I like to be treated? And when I think about like the people and places that I enjoy, I like to think about like, what is it about those people and places that I enjoy? They tend to do a couple of things. One, they know me, right? They know my name. They know what I like. They know what I don't like. And they care about me and my name and what I like and don't like. So I like to transcend that to my customers as well. I like to know who my customers are. I even go as far as introducing myself on Instagram and Facebook, even though, you know, we're virtual. It's like, hey, thanks for following me. I'm Cerisa, you know, because in this virtual world, it tends to be a little impersonal. And I think, especially during COVID, the more that we can do to be engaging people on a personal level really helps. How about you ladies? Have you been experiencing that in your various business? Personalizing, especially during COVID?
We've been focusing on neighborhood parties because, you know, all the events have been canceled. And so it's much more personalized because we're pulling into somebody's driveway and we're in their local community, catering, you know, to those specific neighborhoods.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And as far as a retention metric, like, are you seeing more repeat business from like some of the same people as a result of that?
Well, we'll get new business from the people in that neighborhood who know other people will then recommend us. So we might get another neighborhood party out of that if somebody's coming from another neighborhood to visit, but we'll also get private parties. We'll get bookings just because we're getting the exposure in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of changed the way we do business now. Like the opportunity, I think there's so many more opportunities because of COVID. And like if you look to those opportunities, then you can find new ways of doing business. I think you're probably seeing this across the board. But I almost don't want to go back to the way we were doing business because it's more lucrative. It's cutting a lot of our costs down because we don't have to spend hours at a time at a big event with all the big payroll expenses. But I don't know if it's sustainable after this. Maybe I'm hoping that next summer people will continue to want to do these neighborhood parties?
I think that's your strong point as it is the fact that you shifted and you pivoted. If that's pivoted, is that a word? Where instead of
Yeah.
focusing on your big events, not everyone is willing to go to a neighborhood. I know my neighborhood tried to get a couple food trucks in, and for whatever reason, they were saying they weren't doing those types of events yet. And so just by showing up in someone's driveway, you're really conveying that message of you are worth it. Just because you're not this huge bringing in thousands of people, you are valuable to us. So we're going to show up for you because you show up for us. We'll be in your driveway at this time. And that's awesome. I think that will be, I think if you really push it, that absolutely could be sustainable. I know in our neighborhood, we all have them on tap for next summer already. That's really
good,
cool.
Good.
It is a big opportunity.
Sorry about with COVID too. Yeah, like this introduction of new offerings and services to meet customers where they at and to meet these new customer needs.
I think there's something to be said. You brought up a really good point, Linda, and I appreciate it. Sometimes I get a little shy to say it, and that's there are so many opportunities that were presented, and it's when our backs are against the wall, sometimes that's when we come up with the best ideas and the most out of the box thinking. And I've noticed sometimes that can be really scary because now we're playing with fear of the unknown. We don't know how it's going to work out. We don't know. And it's uncomfortable and unprecedented. No one's done business like this. Is it going to work? And you just kind of throw it to the wind and you figure it out. And that has been as scary as all of it has with COVID. It's kind of been fun. It's definitely an adventure. Okay, so I can't do in person. What are we doing now? Okay, we can't have people in to shop. So how are we going to do it? Like Sarisa does virtual sip-in shops. Like who would have come up with that otherwise? That's freaking amazing.
Give me any opportunity and excuse to talk over cocktails with a friend about passion. I don't think I need a pandemic to do that.
Yes. What's Lacey's up to as a host, Sarah? What do you do?
Well, we're not opening until July 30th because we don't want to rush in. I'm speaking on behalf of Laura because I didn't make any decisions. I've been actually out of the loop. I mean, I go to the meetings, the Zoom meetings, but I'm not making any decisions because I've been quarantining for most of the time, actually. Because I'm older and I have some health issues and I'm getting a new grandchild. So I kind of number 4 is coming in a week. So I have to quarantine. So, I kind of get wind of things, but we're not opening till July 30th because we want to do it right. We don't want to open and close again. So we're just kind of waiting. And Laura said she wants to take care of her team and she doesn't want to have people off unemployment and then have to go on in case there's a spike. So she thought July 30th was a good time. Yeah. We're only going to be open at this point when we start. We're only going to be open 3 days a week for dinner. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're also doing lunches Thursday, Friday. And we're doing something called, what is it called? It's sort of like a happy hour with some small tapas and drinks. Like, I'm not sure of the time, but it would be before dinner. Ooh. And she got a tent. I mean, she's always thinking out of the box. And she thought it would be good to start small. It's better to start small and move up than start like 5 days a week and then have to go down because that's almost admitting that you didn't plan it right. Yeah. I mean, that's my take on it. And so she got a tent for the parking lot because we can't use the deck because the tables are too close. So she's making some changes. She's making changes to the menu, but she does other things too. She does how she does once a month, her like spirit night where people pay money and get like 5 different samples of the spirit. And then they have like matching pairing tapas with it. Well, now she does it virtually. So people pay. They also come and pick up the food earlier before it starts. I'm not sure if it's already pre-cooked or they have to make it at home, but they're all going to be, instead of sitting upstairs, they're all going to be at home virtually drinking and eating. So, yeah, so I mean, like, it's made us think out of the box. But, you know, tapas is hard to do when you're not close, you know, to people that you're eating with. So that made it really difficult. But I think we're going to be successful because we've been around. We have a lot of loyal customers. I think people already think they're coming in like the first 3 days. I mean, like, we're so overbooked and we haven't even made reservations yet. They're all like, I'm coming the first day. Well, I don't know if you could come the first day because there's only so many seats. But I mean, I think we really built up a loyal clientele who really want to come back. I mean, it's not just some.
I've noticed about building that loyal clientele. I was thinking, how do I know Sarah? Like, how the hell do I know her? And I know it wasn't from last time. This is how good you are. And Lacey is so thankful to have you. I met you by happenstance, and you had a Ziploc bag of drink chips. And you and I hit it off, and you're having fun, and you're like, here's a drink on me next time you go to Lacey's.
Where did we meet? I don't even remember.
Hope for Heather. No, you're good. Hope for Heather.
Oh, okay.
So for you, it was something that you do. You build it into your day. You build it into your conversations. I don't take offense that you don't remember me because I didn't have that experience for you. You made my day. You handed me a drink chip. You bought me a drink. You didn't even know me. We had a talk for maybe 10 minutes.
But I have a great boss who gives me all the chips. Knows that I'm not going to use them for myself. You know, I mean, I do use them for some of my friends when they come in, but that's okay because they really tip the bartender well. But I mean, it's just a conversation. And, you know, I feel like I represent Lacey's. No matter where I go, people go, I know you. So I feel like I have to, you know, I don't own the place, but I feel like I have ownership in the place. And that's how come I've lasted for like almost 10 years. Because I feel like it's my place in a way. And I just want to, you know, always represent it in a good, positive way. And who doesn't love Lacey's and who doesn't love Laura? So it's a really easy transition for me to talk about it because.
So why do they love Lacey's so much? And why do they love Laura so much? That client value. It's those small things like buying a drink for someone. Like I said, I remembered you from last year after a 5-minute conversation, and I remembered Lacey's. And another thing Lacey's does, Sarisa also is very good, and in my own business as owner of Full Bodied Health, we try to do is remember those details. So a couple of times I went to Lacey's and ordered the same drink. I went the third time, and not only was my drink remembered, hey, do you want another Jameson and 7? It was also, you're vegan. I remember we have this new thing you have to try.
Same.
And Sarisa is very good about, hey, I know your size, I know your style. Check out this new shirt. And darn, does it work.
It's not like we view them as like a customer. It's like we view them as a friend of Lacey's. That's how I view it.
And that's how it feels with both of you. My experiences have been the same I would have from a girlfriend I've known for 10 years. Oh my God, Lacey, you have to check out this shirt. It is so you. Oh my God, let me buy you a drink. That sounds like a hell of a day. So that loyalty is instantly built in because that feeling is what we remember.
I think too, it's
Maya Angelou.
Getting to know, like you're getting to know your customers.
Yeah.
On that personal level. Like when you talk about the drink chips, sorry, I turned my video off because I'm driving and I didn't think you want to see the background. So I don't know where my husband got these metal coins, but he'll randomly give them out for free pizza. So if they see us at another event, you know, he'll reach out. Plus, he is like super friendly, and I think you're right. Like going the extra mile for the customer, and then that small token of here's a drink on me helps them to remember you, and then they want to come back. They get excited about coming back.
Yeah.
Where is your clothing store?
So, Linda, I don't actually have a storefront yet. I sell online at shopgypsyfreedom.com. And typically I sell in pop-ups, so as a pop-up shop. And since COVID, since the quarantines, my pop-ups are now virtual sip-in shops. So I host those virtually on Instagram and Facebook Live as well at Shop Gypsy Freedom.
Okay. I noticed, like in last summer and through our different events, well, I think you might have heard of the Fashion Rescue 911, and then there was another girl. Well, Fashion Rescue 911 took a fire truck and made a clothing store out of it, and then I saw another young woman with like a big cargo trailer that she turned into a clothing boutique as well. I don't know if you've seen her around.
Yeah, those basically boutiques on wheels that was a new trend that popped up a couple years ago and has been trickling throughout the country. So definitely an idea that we were considering at Gypsy Freedom. So, but thanks for that, Linda. So how about anyone else on the phone? What other sort of... Oh, sorry, Linda, go ahead.
Oh, we have that awkward standoff where no one knows. That's the hard part about Zoom.
So if you're just joining us, I just want to invite the new folks who just joined on Zoom and Facebook. We are talking about customer retention metrics and specifically customer retention strategies as it relates to COVID and how we've had to improve and modify and pivot our different businesses in order to retain and gain new customers during this crazy COVID time. So if you're joining us just now, please feel free to jump in on the conversation. We're just having sort of a roundtable discussion today. And if you would like to also leave comments or questions in the comment box, in the chat box in Zoom or in the Facebook comments, please feel free to do that as well.
Awesome. Anyone else have any really good, solid experiences that either promoted or did not promote that loyalty and customer value? I know we had just talked about those small details. My drink was known when I walked in the door. They remembered I was vegan. Sarah, I remembered you from a year after 5-minute conversation because of, you know, a drink chip, just something innocuous and small having such a big impact for me. And Sarisa, I don't want to hog. I love customer service. I have stories all day long. Who else has a story?
But the funny thing, Lacey, is you're not the only one. We all on this phone love customer service, and we patron those businesses and business owners who treat us as more than just a customer, right? So as business owners, I always try to remind people to think that way. Like, you also enjoy it when a business or a business owner is kind to you, nice to you, is personalizing their business to fit you. So as a business owner, you should also employ that strategy as well. I love the idea of giving trinkets, these coins. I'm gonna have to figure out some way to leave. I'm gonna summarize it as leaving a little sparkle wherever you go. So always having something to sort of give to someone to remind them of you, I think, is an excellent strategy as well.
Yeah, that is a good one. I'm reading the chat box.
Anyone else have any sort of new strategies that they've introduced during COVID? So we talked about, like, for example, with my business, since I typically sell via in-person pop-ups, I sort of transformed that experience to be now virtual through my virtual sip-in shops. And the way I did that is, again, personalizing and bringing customers into my business and saying, hey, do you still want to see me? You know, and how can you see me if I did this virtually? Would you come? You know, so I think that's an excellent strategy, is giving your customers some skin in the game and keeping them involved in your process, in your thought process, and in your growth. So I'm just curious, have any of you come up with any new strategies as a result of engaging with your customers or asking them, you know, what new offerings they'd like to see from you?
I think ours is so specific. I can't really think of any. I want to go back to one thing though, that what we were just talking about, and like the trinkets and that, and I don't know that saying, but people always remember the way you make them feel.
It's a Maya Angelou.
Yeah, that, you know, the way you treat them and the feeling they take away is what's bringing them back as a repeat customer. But no, I don't know. I do need some strategies. I need help with strategies.
So if you would like to dive in, anyone out there would like to dive into strategies specifically to you, one-on-one counseling is free, thanks to generous donors and grants. And I believe WISE will put the email address that you can email to set that up. So I just wanted to plug that real quick, but a couple
and
of my...
actually, I would love to, if you don't mind, Lacey and Linda, maybe we could use some group therapy here. And Linda, why don't you give us one of the challenges you're having that you would like to get some strategies for? And let's see if some of the folks on the phone and even some of the folks on Facebook would like to help provide some strategies today.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, for us, we're so small, we don't really pay for advertising. And although we built a second truck, it's hard to get reliable people, and we don't want the quality to suffer. So we kind of rented the truck out to somebody else who's running a little business without our name on it while we're running our first truck. But competing with like the other brick and mortar pizza shops that have food trucks is we don't have the brand name recognition and getting our name out there because we're so small. We've been at it for 4 years, but part-time, and you know, we don't plan to have a storefront. And I don't know. It seems like, and another problem for us is that our direct competitor with the food truck runs the Food Truck Association. So that puts us although, you know, it's hard to really say for sure, but it does put us at a disadvantage in getting jobs because they'll have first dibs at the jobs. They'll come into the Food Truck Association as our direct competitor. So I don't know. It makes it a little more difficult for us to get some of the lucrative private parties because of that.
This is a little off of client value and a little bit more on marketing. The first thing that popped in my head was convenience. Right now, everyone just wants one less thing off their plates, especially moms who are balancing kids at home, possibly working, what's for dinner. Grocery store is a disaster area, right? Who wants to even go? Thanks, Cassandra. I'm clapping for myself as well. I could get on my soapbox about this. So I would do anything If someone called the homeowners association and said, you don't have to beg us to come. We want to come take care of a delicious, awesome dinner for you. We'll be there either on this date or this day. What works better for your neighborhood? And you look like a hero, Mr. HOA president, because you didn't have to do anything, but you can announce it. We'll give you the digital flyer that you can email or whatever. Has that been considered yet? Oh, we just had a shift. Did we lose Linda?
Oh, I think we just lost her.
Oh, she's back.
Such a good, that was such a good challenge though to present. Oh, there she is. Okay, awesome. You're on mute, Linda. Somehow. Somehow you're muted.
I think when they come
Okay,
in,
I lost you. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. I had just been the idea of if you had called the homeowners association and said, we'll be here in your neighborhood on this day or this day, which one works best for you? So one, you're assuming the sale. Don't let them tell you no. Two, you're doing them a service. They didn't have to call you. And if that was something you guys could do, would do, etc. And I think we lost her again.
I'm here.
Okay. It keeps shifting around. Sorry about that.
I'd actually love to add to that too, Lacey. So, I mean, it's interesting, especially as a small business, the first challenge we try to attack typically is marketing. When really like marketing can happen organically if you're conscious about like who you partner with and how you partner with them. So similar to what Lacey, what you were saying, calling a homeowners association, an HOA, maybe even choosing communities to partner with. I love that Linda was mentioning they've sort of started specializing in these neighborhood parties organically. So again, listening to your customers and what they want. It sounds like your customers like that neighborhood approach. So maybe picking a couple of neighborhoods to like partner with. So are there elderly home communities that, you know, these groups of people are in one place, and how convenient would it be that your truck already is on the calendar to be there, you know, XYZ days out of the month, you know? Are there a couple of campuses, like college campuses, maybe when the students come back that you can partner with? And that will sort of give you that organic marketing, because now if they know that you're going to be there on a set schedule, they'll start to market to that community for you. You know what I mean? So you don't have to dedicate a cost and all of these things to do that. So maybe just thinking about some strategic partners that you can bring into that customer circle. They're now no longer your customers. They're your partners. These different groups that you can look at. Poor Linda, she's going in and out.
The good news is that this will be on Facebook
Recorded. Correct.
Yes. So we're all good on that end of it.
Yeah.
Sarisa, what are some of your favorite ways to bring added customer value?
So to bring added value, I first like to see what my customers value currently. So if I know that my customers value, for example, that one-on-one shopping experience, I'm going to introduce more private shopping sessions, or I'm going to formally introduce that as an offering. So I think one of the ways that I like to bring in added value is identifying sort of this menu of services that I currently offer as a business, and which ones my customers are asking for the most, and then introducing new offerings that fill the gaps on some of the things that they may be asking for that I don't currently offer. I think that helps. Again, it helps customers. And I almost hate to call them customers because they're your friends. It helps your friends when they know you're listening to them. You know, if I keep hearing people telling me, hey, I'd really like to sit down with you. I'd really like to sit down with you. And I keep hearing this, I'm going to want to make time for them to sit down with me. And maybe I create that as a formal offering to satisfy that gap.
Awesome. We had an idea come through on the chat box for adding customer value and increasing that loyalty. And it was adding I'm trying to find it, darn it, adding a reward system. And I love this idea. And it was tagged with incentivize people to buy now. I love it from a standpoint of a gratitude position as well. Thank you so much for your support. Here's something we can do for you. And this will build up to, you know, whatever reward or gift you can do for your business. But that's a really, really excellent one, that reward system.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. I'll just call it customer appreciation. So we're actually about to do a really big one to celebrate something monumental at Gypsy Freedom. But yes, just saying thank you. You know, again, let's think about how we like to be treated. We like it when people personalize and know us. We like it when we do something for someone that they say thank you and appreciate us. So as business owners, we should be doing the same thing. You know, I think it's so easy to when you own a business to like think too hard. I think it's really easy to do that, to think really hard and to just confuse yourself with all these thoughts. But if you just break it back down to the basics, think about what you like. And I bet you your customers are feeling the same way if you talk to them and ask them.
Yeah, we had Cassandra keeps coming up with all these great ideas. Thank you. And I did get permission to share her name. I'm not calling her out. She said creating communities around the holidays is also really fantastic. And again, going with what Linda had said, people remember how you make them feel. And so to be included, especially around a time that's known for family and intimate groups, that's a great one. As a financial advisor, I used to do that all the time. We'd have a big holiday and what top clients or what tier can I get to come in and bring together?
I call it the warm and fuzzy, right, Lacey?
Yeah.
People will never stop loving that warm and fuzzy. We loved it when we were babies and we continue to love it as we get older. The more that we can introduce that into our business strategies, I think the more it'll help us gain new customers and retain the ones that we have.
Yeah, that's a big one. I know for me, it's focused on the feeling. Perfect segue. So it's what's going to make this person know and feel welcomed and welcome to come back. Because a lot of times I've noticed when I shop somewhere or I'm going out, if I feel like they went over the top for me, I almost feel bad going back. And so that welcoming spirit, just the small things, we can't wait to have you back. We're getting a new wine in next week. We're whatever. Hey, one more purchase and you get a free t-shirt. All right, I'm here. Those little ways to just make people feel welcome is always a big focus. In gratitude, I know, Sarisa, you do this. I do this with my one-on-one clients for nutrition coaching. It's thank you notes. And I learned it as a financial advisor, and all the other advisors around me would say, we don't have time. It's like, dude, again, stop overthinking it. I'm literally writing, Dear Mr. Smith, thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for your trust. You're valued. Signed, Lacey. And it didn't.
You don't have time for that. You don't have time to have customers. Don't open a business.
Right. It's literally just 3 phrases. They're not even sentences, if I'm remembering my high school grammar correctly. 3 phrases, and how many times would I go back in and those cards would be sitting on their fridge or sitting on their desk, you know? It's huge. And that's the type of thing people will refer to their friends.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you know, not only does she do this, but I got to think, you know, who does that? We do.
It's funny. Like, I always like to say, it's that hospitality mentality, right? We can learn a lot from our fellow waitresses, those people that we love when we go out to eat in restaurants, right? They do three really key things. And I don't know if this is like something you learn when you go to waitress school or whatever, when you get hired, but I notice the waitresses I love and the ones that do it the best, they welcome you when you come in, right? And the more that they personalize that welcome, the more you probably remember it. They check in with you while you're there, right? Hey, you just got your food. Do you like it? You know, is there anything we can do? And then before you leave, they say thank you in some way. And the more that they can personalize throughout those three steps, we tend to like it more. So I think implementing that, that as a mentality, as a business strategy, there's your customer retention right there, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. It's running the business like you would with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a really, really good one. Knowing your customer, I put that in the chat box as tip of the week. And it's one of those, it's almost cringeworthy. We've heard it so many times. Know your customer, KYC. But I think because it's almost trite, overused, that we lose sight of the impact it truly has. To be called by first name or Mr. Mrs., depending on the level of formality in your business, to remember someone's drink or what they keep ordering the past 13 times they've come, those little things. And for me, even, I have a horrible memory. It's that authenticity of, I am so sorry. You've been in here so many times and I can't remember your name, but I do know that your wife usually gets a cup of coffee. Do you need one to go for her today? You know, those little things where you can be yourself and really show it off while knowing and anticipating their needs is a really big one.
Ooh, anticipating their needs is also, that's a huge one, Lacey. You just put that in there. I'd love for any of you on the phone to talk a little bit about that if you have any experience with that. Anticipating customer needs.
We had a really good example earlier with Sarisa anticipating my needs of new shirts with catchy slogans. I love that you know my size, but it's also a curse, I'm gonna say.
I'm sorry, not sorry. But that's really a good one, Lacey. I mean, being able to give, I think about just the relationships we already have, right? My relationship with my husband. When I give him something that I know he's going to ask for, he's always so like, oh, thanks for, you know, it's almost like a sweet surprise, you know, like how cool is that to have your customers surprised like that? Like have like a genuine surprise reaction and appreciation for you thinking of them.
Yeah, it's the knowing what comes with it, knowing what they want with it. So McDonald's freaking nailed it when they do oh, you want fries with that? Well, of course. Who's gonna eat chicken nuggets or a burger without fries?
And I know we're talking a lot about product-based businesses, but Lacey, you run, since you have like a service-based business, how would you implement some of these strategies for a service-based business like yours?
That's a really good question. So we anticipate the need with the intangibles. When COVID hit and everything shut down, the schools finally came out. As nutrition coaches, what I really looked at was usually there's a surcharge for being able to contact a nutrition coach after business hours. Then you stick kids home during work hours, plus the grocery debacle that was the first 3 weeks of what is even in stock. And we decided to meet our customers where we were. They were going to need to reach us after 4 o'clock, after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when the kids go down, 8 o'clock when they finally can breathe. So for us, that was one very specific example of anticipating a need. We also, when it comes to such as intention and focus sessions, where we really work on the emotions behind what we eat, why we eat, and when we eat, we do recap emails. Because how many times have I come out of my therapist's office after an hour and I get home and like, yeah, what? I remember this one topic, but surely there was more to it for an hour. And when you get your brain talking and you start really challenging yourself, we've noticed that need of, we're just going to recap this for you. Here are your bullet points. Here's what you did. Here's what we talked about. Here are your challenges.
Yeah.
So for service, you just got to get a little creative. That's
awesome. And I try to do something similar even in my thank you card. And I think, you know, the saying thank you, I can't mention enough. As a business owner, really trying to implement that strategy in your business is so key and necessary. But even in my thank you note, I'll try and, like, if someone got a shirt that I know would pair really nice with a pair of shorts that's coming in, I'll say, hey, you know, thank you so much for your beautiful shirt that you just bought. By the way, there's a pair of shirts coming that I know would look so cute. I picked them out specifically for that.
Be careful, ladies. My husband will tell you this is where I get in the most trouble.
Yeah. And maybe they don't get those shorts, but they know that I'm thinking of them. You know what I mean? I'm not just like selling you a shirt. It's like, hey, actually, you know, I think this will look really cute with some shoes that, you know, are coming in a month or two or something like that. So it gets them checking and things like that. So definitely anticipating needs that's a big one, Lacey. Thanks for bringing that up.
No problem. You nailed it with that last part of it, especially from my end, being a customer for you, is not only is it challenging to come out of our comfort zone, and we do it with clothes, we do it with nutrition, we do it when we go out to eat. Every area of our life is constantly well, I usually do this, but maybe we kind of flirt with, maybe I should try something new. Maybe I should try this new dish. Maybe I should try this new style of shirt. Maybe I should try this new pizza. And we talk ourselves out of it. Oh, what if I don't like it? What if I don't? So to have someone anticipate, hey, I know this new style is a stretch. You love it, but it's still a stretch for you. Why don't you try it with these? Why don't you pair it with this? And it's that little extra virtual hug of, okay, this is making changing my style more doable and less overwhelming. This is making nutrition less overwhelming. Okay, it's not such a risk to try this new dish that I might hate at this restaurant that I typically love. So what logic is there that I might actually hate it? But to have that virtual hug and hand holding, it helps your sales, but it super helps the comfort level when you're doing something new.
Yeah. I mean, it's going back to that hospitality mentality. I mean, think about your favorite waitress. Even though you go to this restaurant, you get the same dish all the time. One day she's going to say, hey, we just came out with blah, blah appetizer. You may want to try that, you know, or she may even say like, hey, I snuck in such and such or on the side for you just so you can taste it. And then now that's your new favorite thing, you know? I mean, I always love bringing it back to just the simplest things. You know, running a business is hard, but loving on your customers should not be. That should not be the hard part.
Right. Cassandra put a really good point in the chat box. I also love the idea of sneak previews for new items coming out. New items coming out. And also, Cassandra, to build on that, features of current things we didn't know about. And that came to me. Cassandra, you and I are like this today. We're right here. That came out. I did live modeled for Sarisa, and there's this wallet. I'm like, oh, it's just the change part of it. And all of a sudden it's actually coming out, and whole new features of something that's already out there I didn't even know existed. So that, yes, Cassandra, you're on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will just say I'm completely dialed in. You can't see my face, but I'm totally dialed in with the baby in the background. So,
So you heard me talking about balancing the kids and what's for dinner. Got it.
oh, yeah.
Again, we're at 12:51.
Yeah.
So I'll just say it one more time for Facebook people and to hammer it home for you guys joining us on Zoom. One-on-one coaching, whether it's a business idea and you're not quite sure what to do with it, or if you're actually fully formed 10 years in, anywhere in between. One-on-one coaching is free for you guys. There's Sarisa, there's myself, and Barb, who was on the last 2 weeks, couldn't make it today.
It's also phenomenal.
Yeah, we're here, and it's free to you guys thanks to the generous donations and grants that come in. So the email address will again be put in the chat box and on Facebook, if we can figure that out. Kudos to you, Megan. I have no idea how to work any of that. And we'll leave it open for a quick 10 seconds if anyone wants to dial in for last minute question. Otherwise, I'll start wrapping it up.
Absolutely.
10 seconds of silence. I know, it's so quiet.
Any parting thoughts, ladies? Anything we didn't capture in our discussion today that you would like us to talk about briefly?
I just want to say thank you for your ideas. I think, being able to just have a platform where you can exchange, even if the business model or the company is different. I just love the exchange of ideas. So I definitely appreciate you ladies sharing today.
Yeah, and we do this every Wednesday. It's our power hour during lunch from noon to 1. Occasionally, we'll have guest speakers. We always offer this back and forth Q&A segment, and then occasionally it'll just be a roundtable discussion like this. So I'm glad you appreciate it, Cassandra.
Thank you.
What's up for next week?
I don't think I've seen the calendar for the theme yet. So look on Facebook because we do post it there and the website.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy
Thank you,
that
Linda.
you're anticipating the next week, though, Linda. That means she'll be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I need a better connection next time.
No problem. It is recorded on Facebook. So at 12:54.
Oh.
Yeah, so the parts that you missed, if you're cutting in and out, check out WISE WBC on Facebook, and you can watch the whole thing over again or fast forward to the good stuff.
Thank
WISE
you.
just posted that they'll post soon, and you can register on Eventbrite. Link is always the same. So thank you so much, Linda, Sarah. I really appreciate you guys jumping in there. I know it can be intimidating sometimes. And Cassandra, thank you. Your gratitude, all of you. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you to everyone joining on Facebook Live. Appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll talk to you later, ladies.
Okay.